O Giriaparo, O Giriaparo, la de Giri. Ifa O Giri, O Rumala O Giri, O Pui. O Giriaparo. O Giriaparo, la de Giri. Ifa O Giri, O Rumala O Giri, O Pue. O Pue. O, big O, like a capital O, in Yoruba, behind anything, means like really a lot. Like if I said, I do puedo, oh, my ancestors and I thank you so much. Or I said, Moferen, oh, I love you very much. So it adds this very much to the end of it. So you hear me end that song this way. O pueo, I am so calling to this red bird of destiny to guide me. When my mind don't know what to trust, my eyes don't know what to trust, the merry-go-round is spinning at 180 miles an hour. Oh, red bird, hold my feet to whatever it is I spoke to my creator, to source before I entered my mother's womb, that those covenants and agreements might be fulfilled. And with that, I say good morning, grand rising, and that I am so assured, I am so assured that even though this summer solstice lighthouse summit definitely caught both Earth Mama and I, god dang, by surprise. We were halfway under the water before we knew what was happening exactly. And yet, here we are on the solstice day, and I know for a fact that this was destiny, and that some of the things that some of the covenants that our families agreed to they're just not easy, okay? And they just don't get handed to us on a silver platter. They just don't. We wish they did, but they don't. And my godmother, who's looking for me this morning, bless her heart, I send her energy out. She called yesterday a little flustered about trying to catch up on the cleaning in the temples in Oyotunji. She would say, these are the times where they just test your metal, see what the heck you are made of, running your mouth about what you gonna do. And so if you feel it's a little tough, or you got to do 6 things at once to make it happen, then you recognize that, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and just bite on down on that bullet and do it or don't. Ain't nobody forcing you now. Ain't no gun to your head. You can back up from your destiny at any time. I tell people that all the time. You don't have to do it. But just hope you don't leave and go away and meet your maker tonight and have to answer for it. And that kind of really is the way that I I live my life. When a lot of people look at the woman from the wheelchair, Tracy being one of them, and go, "Ia, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And there's that thing, and we kind of went over that yesterday. Oh no, it's an interview, Trace, that I want to send you that I did on Friday in the Wild Darling community. And I think the final question was to ask, why was I so committed to the project, and what does it take to be committed to a film project over a number of years? We're now moving in on the end of year 1, looking at year 2. And I said that phrase from our pledge, Miyashe Kanki Fag Badashe. I am compelled by a spiritual force that I cannot resist. And I could have been just sitting tight, doing a puzzle with my husband today, chilling, waiting for the kids to call him. I could have. But I heard this thing in my voice that said, there's a small window here, and you need to gather some friends and have a little chit-chat about how we're all feeling moving into the summer months, in spite of all of the external factors that we're each dealing with. And I'll tell you what, for the most part of yesterday, we thought we had a handle on it. I sure did. And then on our little break, our little evening break, we took a little break. And they just marched me right out there to the ancestors and sat me down. And there was Steve Judd, who again is, you know, I turn to him every now and then, but really Earth Mama and them have been the ones that say, you know, check out Steve every now and then. And for some reason, he was just up. And so I knew I didn't have a lot of time. I think we were on a like maybe 20-30 minute break in the summit. And when it started, and he said, this is going to be about 15-20 minutes long. Sit down, get a cup of tea or coffee. I said, well, I think I better listen to this. I think it's fixing to tell me some confirmation about what it is we are discussing and holding as our truth, and peeling away the layers of the deception, or realizing the areas where we don't know enough. We haven't dug deep enough down that rabbit hole to know what we're working with. And if you're anything like me, I pretty much don't care for blind spots. Not too much on surprises either. And I like to know, you know, I like to have a sense, let me put it that way, because I do respect the mystery. I like to have a sense of what's coming up ahead. So with that, in these few minutes before we go into Janara and our beautiful embodiment and fullness of the sun on the solstice day, I'd like everybody to just come in, give us a little bit of love, gratitude. Let me hear your voice in the place, because I'm on this little tiny phone and I have to keep sliding it to even see. Look at all you. Oh, hey, Christy. Hey, Katrina. Yeah. This is a nightmare. Oh, hey, Judy, girl. All right, you and I got some talk about that Earth Skills community. That flew by my phone early this morning. I went, what? What? You know when Grant chime in. There's Joan. Hey, girl. The whole time you were trying to get, I said, no, she's in a hangar, honey. I had to pay extra for my phone to even work. Give Joan a little minute. Did you go outside? Are you outside under somewhere, Joan? No. Okay. So she made it in. Hey, Vasiliki. I think I finally got it. Yay! I love when the actual pronunciation of a friend's name is truly there. Edith is with us. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen your face in so long. So good to see you. This is Lady Edith of Lord Bruce and the Lady Edith of Switzerland, or formerly of Switzerland. I hear you guys have moved on from that. And of course, our Janara. So I'm gonna mute myself, Katrina, and let you go on around, darling, with the talking stick, so everyone can bring in their Sunday morning happiness and love.
Good morning, everyone. So yeah, I'm going to be the kind of human talking stick. So I'm going to, in essence, just call forward the next person I see on the screen to keep the flow going. And you just need to put yourself off of mute. Joan, I see you first. Now Joan is outside, it looks like. So you just need to put yourself off of mute.
I say good morning, everyone. Just got to know that I'm a bit scattered and hoping that I make kind of sense. Recognizing this weird time astrologically that I have 5 planets in Cancer. So things are a bit scattered for me and a little weird, but I also have a brother who is in the hospital. So blessings to all, and send some love my way and his way if you can. Trying to keep centered this morning, and thank you for having what's going on today, and looking forward to Janara's ceremony this morning. Love you all.
Thank you, Joan. I see Tracy next.
Here holding space on Humble Hill. Holding the intent that all of the personal work creates a glorious ripple effect that helps others move forward in their own progressions and into a better world that we're all hoping for. Peace and love.
Thank you, Tracy. Vasiliki, see you next.
Hi, good morning, wherever you are. Sending love to everybody. I'm very fortunate to have this circle. Because of being on a hospital bed for many, many years, nothing brings more balance and healing in the body than the deep breathing. If we allow it, we relax and we trust the work, the unseen work that happens while we're resting, and we allow natural deep breathing, and we can sleep. If you can transfer that to whoever is on a hospital bed, 80% of the healing takes place in that state. The deep relaxation where we surrender to the healing process, because that's what life is. It seeks constant equilibrium and balance. It will seek it, because that it feeds from that. So it will keep on seeking that. So if we can get to a state where we surrender, like in the space between the breathing, the breaths, we truly surrender there. A lot of healing takes place there. So I just want to give this message to whoever is suffering or is in pain or in a hospital bed. And lots of healing vibes. All is good for me. I pass it on.
Thank you. Next I see Janara.
Good morning, everyone. So like Sangoma was mentioning, I feel like this weekend has just been so much information downloading and heavy conversations for sure. Yesterday, I spent a lot of time on my own celebration of the solstice rather than, I wasn't here for the summit yesterday, so I needed that time for myself, and it was really deep and it was what I needed, but I'm so tired. That's how I feel today. I had trouble sleeping and it was a big day yesterday, and so I'm feeling really tired this morning, but that also feels appropriate to what we're about to do. So no worries there, but I guess all I can really say to you all at this moment is namaskar. Hello, I see you. I recognize the divinity that is you, and I send my blessings to all.
Thank you, Janara. Christy.
Grand Rising. I am on the East Coast or the West Coast and waking up. So I have a Pisces moon, and so I feel like when I'm around a lot of information and gathering a lot of information, the information sinks like a stone, and I feel like in my body there's just a lot of movement and ripples, and it feels good, but I'm waiting for it all to settle and become clear. And I pray into this space for that clarity of understanding, of next steps, and for myself, for all of us, for finding and finding the things that nourish us and rejuvenate us and connect us to our hearts and to each other. Blessed be.
Thank you, Christy. Judy.
Good morning, everybody. I know it's Father's Day, but my husband's in there making me some eggs. Yeah. Anyway, just hi, and I've got lots of gratitude and joy around anybody, not just women, but anybody gathering together with intention to heal and to connect and to hold space. So that's what I pray into, is just supporting Sangoma and anyone that takes leadership and takes the reins. And we're not perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but we're aiming towards that, because we have a world in our own individual lives to make whole. And that's what I'm about. I'm about wholeness. And I know that the Creator made this planet to be in balance and in the way of creation. And that's what I'm very highly dedicated to. And I just honor and love and appreciate all of you. And it's good to see some of my homies. Hi, Joan and Janara and all my new friends. So I just really relish this. I might have to, I usually do a Zoom call at my church at 10:45. So I don't know if I'm going to Zoom in or out. But anyway, just loving this, loving y'all. Peace.
Thank you, Judy. Edie. You have to go off of mute. We can't hear you.
Unmute. There we go. I couldn't figure out how to do it. Most of the time I'm listening and not talking. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee with Bruce at Solstice House, and it's been a year, hasn't it? Working with folks in the prisons, and that we're having to do that all by email right now. I mean, not email, snail mail. And one prison, there's email. And we're working on trying to get videos to them as well as letters. Been working in the garden a lot. I'm really blessed that we're not in an apartment or just isolated completely. Have a next door neighbor that works with me too, and we're kind of stuck at home most of the time with all this COVID, but that doesn't stop the work, and it doesn't stop the healing, it doesn't stop the prayers, and it doesn't stop the use of the energy and the connection to the God and Goddess. So thank you. I'm glad to be a part of this. Some of you I've met and some of you I haven't, and that's just fine. Blessings be with you. Namaste. Now let's see if I can mute myself again. Oh, there we are.
Thank you, Edie. I see Anita next.
Okay. I'm Anita. I'm in Tampa. Actually, I'm in 3 rituals today, so I'm trying to prepare for each, and definitely holding this space with other women from around the world. And it's kind of amazing and so synchronous to see that we're all on the same page. All of us that are spiritual beings, we're all affected by COVID in some way, and that this is drawing us even closer together, even though we're on apps like this and we can't see each other, touch each other, hold each other, which I think I miss the most. So that energy is there for healing, and that's always what I have associated summer solstice with, is letting the earth heal. She knows how to heal. She's done this before. So our energy is for her and for all of us as we move forward, because this is a portal that we're walking through. And it's so synchronous that it's happening now. Maybe the earth has a chance. Maybe going forward, we won't be here. So for now, we can help and heal those around us. That's all.
Thank you, Anita. Misha, I see you next. I know you're not on your video. I'm wondering if you're on your audio.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not ready for video. I've just opened my eyes. And I thought this morning if everyone was quiet enough still and I was able, I was going to jump, enjoy listening, if that's all right.
Thank you, Misha.
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. You're cutting out a little bit. Oops, you're on mute again.
Katrina, did we get to hear your gratitude this morning, honey? Because I know you just have a full day. We all do between here and the Web of Love. And that was just so good. It's just like little juicy, fruity tidbits with all my sisters. I've been moved to tears, actually, really, really. Some, I don't know. It's like a hug with Judy and Lady Edith and Janara, people that are far away, I can't get in my car and just be at their house. So it's very moving for me, but I wanted to touch base with your heart as well and give you space to love. And you good this morning? Did you get you some rest? It was a busy day for you yesterday.
I did. Thank you so much. I'm feeling so much gratitude for this circle. I think Christy is the only one I know, and I just I can feel the kinship and the familiarity. It's like I already know all of you. So I just always get so in awe when these circles start to interweave and connect that it's like, oh, hello. I know you. I'm just grateful for this connection, and also feeling a lot of gratitude with how many rituals and ceremonies are going on right now and how many of them are being live streamed so we can tap into them. It feels so magical. I watched the sunset at Serpent Mounds last night before I went to bed and tapped into the ceremony there, and I watched the Stonehenge ceremony, and I know that Chief Arval is doing a 3-day unity, peace, and prayer, so I've been tapping into that, and it's just really enriching and hopeful to see this spiritual healing really coming in to a place where I think we're really able to visibly see one another in the physical too. I think we can feel each other always in the mycelium of the earth, and now it's like, oh, we can see this is happening. So I'm feeling a lot of gratitude for that, and so much gratitude for Sangoma for doing this summit, and I'm grateful to be able to support it. So I think those are my gratitudes this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Katrina. Here's what I was wondering, and I'm so glad you mentioned that because, 5 of mine went by. I know Father Paul Tobin, who presented us with Chanupa, one's going by for him at 2 o'clock today. So yeah, so in and out, you know what I mean, of all these rituals. And at some point, I guess my initial question was whether or not the chat from yesterday's summit continues right in here in this. Yeah, okay. If it doesn't, then we know enough between Tracy and I to repost some major things like everyone watch Steve Judd's astrology. Do it. You want to go ahead and do it. Oh, golly. I got to run and get a charger. Let's see. Yeah, I got to run and get the phone charger. So things like that, I guess, and to repost I guess we're going to do Kindred of Sangoma at gmail.com. I told Todd if that didn't work for him again today to just send it to my Cash app. But that kind of thing. I'm trying to think maybe you could help me, Katrina, what else we had. Oh, I wrote it down. I'll go from my notes. You weren't on then. John gave us, as far as his information, John Lee Rucker, who's, we're going to say sensitive information, but for every woman on this call, you would want to know that information. And so there were various authors and links and resources that he posted in the chat that we could all check out to do our own research on some of what he was talking about. Yeah, and so just that note, but I guess if we can never go back to a chat from the day before, we'll have to pull it from our notes, Trace, and pull it from our mind. So I think I didn't even count, maybe we're 7 or 9 women, and this is going to be extremely, I know Janara. Janara is our archer. She's like our Artemist.
We are 11.
Yes, she is. Let me just say real proper who Janara is. I can't even remember when I met Janara, but Janara goes back as with me, Judy, and Joan in Earth Skills. And I guess when I met her, she was trying to do ecumenical work as a pagan and a witch in the middle of North Carolina. And, needless to say, there's a Bible Belt, and you'll get a little backlash with that kind of thing. So Joan and I would always hug her a lot and encourage her and say, you are who you are. And sooner or later, people will realize that you're not a threat, that you're an amazing human being with a beautiful heart, and that everyone has a right to believe what they believe. And again, it's not like I sat around out of my hundreds of friends that are capable of leading a ritual and just said, well, I think I'll go with this person. Absolutely, Spirit dropped names in. Janara's name immediately came to this moment in time. And yeah, I don't think she needs any other introduction. I think she's going to lead us just fine in this summer solstice ritual. And yeah, moved to tears to be here with you all. And, in all the days to come, people will say, what were you doing on the summer solstice? And I'll remember each of your gratitudes and each of your faces. And most of all, your support. As everybody was talking, I looked around, I said, again, it always, this is a plague, a person of color. I said, wow, here you are, maybe the only person of color on the phone with all these women who are not, but doesn't matter. Because the strongest thing in my world is love. And even through a machine, I know the love of every woman's face I'm looking at right here. That's what matters to me. So I just wanted to say that before we got into ceremony. Janara, you got it, girlfriend. Take us on where you want us to go.
All right. Well, thank you for that introduction. For those that don't know me, Sangoma alluded to the fact that I'm a priestess. I'm sworn to Artemis and Pan, and I'm not super deity heavy. I would say that at this point, my practice is more animistic than anything. And just real quick, while we're doing social justice work, this weekend. Animism is a word that describes the practices, also known as shamanism. I've chosen to move to this word in respect for the people of Siberia, whose word shaman is. And, you know, there are animist practices where I am from. We just don't have a word that I know about. So I'm going to say animist. So that's what I'm about. I run a group called Clan of the Wildlings. I teach with the Earth Skills Gathering. I'm also teaching with some events out here in Colorado now. We went virtual with Dragon Fest, which is in August. It's a wonderful gathering. It would have been camping and workshops, a lot like Earth Skills, but now it's virtual. And there's one called Fire on the Mountain that is for women only out here in Colorado. That is also virtual this year, and I will be teaching there. So that's enough of that. What are we doing today? We are celebrating the summer solstice, which actually the moment of that happened yesterday at 3:38 p.m. my time, so 5:38 p.m. Eastern time. And the summer solstice is the beginning of summer. Although I'm sure for most of us, it has felt like summer for a while, right? And it's already been hot. But this is the moment. This is when it actually happens. And, you know, axial tilt is the reason for the season. My practice is very much based on the cycles of the earth. I'm not a ceremonial practitioner. This is about where we are. We live on earth. We circle the sun. And the summer solstice is one of those 8 solar festivals that are the main festivals in my tradition. And what I love about it is that it's a marriage of science and faith. And, you know, it's the summer solstice for everyone. Whatever your belief system is, it may not include seasonal holidays at all, but yet it's the summer solstice for everyone here on Earth. And that's kind of where I'm going with any of these public rituals. But for today, just want to say that normally summer solstice festivals in my tradition are like, you know, pretty low key. This is not one of the high holidays. It's hot. Mostly we drink like cool drinks and kind of scamper about in the sunshine. The most effort I get into is some sun salutations because my tradition also includes the tree of yoga. So I incorporate a lot of yogic practices into my practice, and we're going to do that today. So normally summer solstice would be a pretty happy, frolicking, lighthearted time, but not in 2020, okay? I felt really strongly that what I had to do with this ritual was address what is happening in the world. So this is going to be a little activist witchcraft for you. And my concept is, you know, what this holiday is about is honoring the sun. But the sun itself is this immense source of power that fuels our entire galaxy and certainly fuels all life here on Earth. And so that power, we can draw upon that power to give us the will to succeed, the will to victory. So today we're going to use a rune. I don't know how well anyone can see this. Can you see that? Okay. This is the rune we're using today. This is called Sowilo. Sowilo. Sowilo is the sun. This symbol directly represents the sun. Now, I would also like to acknowledge, since we're in a social activism ritual, all of these symbols, these runes, are from the Norse peoples of Northern Europe, to which I claim some heritage. These symbols have been appropriated by some unsavory folks. So if you recognize this symbol from, say, Germany, mid-1900s, okay, just because they misused it does not take away the true and beautiful meaning of this symbol, which is simply the victory and will and power of the sun, which is what we're going to draw on today to be our spiritual warrior selves, our warriors of the sun selves. So let's get into it. We're going to start with a little centering practice. We're going to do a breath called the breath of fire. Now, before we begin with the breath of fire, I have to give the contraindications, which is this breath is not for anyone with heart disease, high blood pressure, history of strokes, pregnancy. Some say menstruation, although pretty sure that's just the patriarchal culture of India. Never had a problem with that. But anyway, there are a few health concerns with this breath. If you feel dizzy at any point, please stop. If you are unable to do this breath, just follow along with nice deep breaths. We're just trying to oxygenate, get ourselves revved up. The breath of fire is wonderful because it's literally building fire in your system. So here we go. We're just going to sit up straight and maybe give a little shake. Your hands can be wherever you want to be. We want to have a nice relaxed stomach. And what we're going to do is breathe quickly through our nose, both in and out through the nose. And it's going to be fast, and it's going to be a little bit like sniffing. So let me demonstrate. You're going to want to take a nice deep breath in, really get all that breath in, and then we're going to kind of do some shallower breaths with that rapid cadence. Here we go. So if that came across with the audio, you can kind of hear that audible sniffing. And I'm not going to show you my belly right now because I'm wearing a caftan. But normally in a yoga class, I would show you how my stomach kind of comes in and out naturally with the diaphragmatic area action of this breath. So we're going to do maybe just 3 rounds. And if you run out, sometimes you kind of run out of air while you're doing the breath of fire. Don't worry about it. Just take another breath. Here we go. Everyone join me. We're going to breathe in. So that's round 1. I've run out of breath. Inhale again. Round 2. Last one. And round 3. So if you have followed along in that breath of fire with me, you may be feeling some sensations, maybe feeling a little warmth in your center, maybe feeling some tingling out through your extremities. That's cool. That's your internal fire getting built up. We're going to use that fire as we step into our sacred space. So the way that we are going to create sacred space today, continuing on with our rune theme, I am going to chant the runes, and I invite you all to really close your eyes, maybe extend your hands. Join me in using this sacred sound to cast a net around us all of safety, protection, and just truly a container for the mystery that is. The mystery which we confront every time we go into any type of ceremony. And that mystery which is called a million names, bow who speak. So the way that I'm going to chant these runes, I'm just educating as I go. I hope that's cool. This is called Galder in the Norse tradition, and it's a lot like the way that we chant Om, for those who are familiar with that. So we're really chanting Om with each rune. When we get to Sowilo, we're going to chant Sowilo. It's pretty cool. If you know any runes, feel free to join me from home. We're going to go in order. The Elder Futhark is the one that I'm using, and here we go. Behu Aro Thurizal Ansus Raithel Gabo Unio Berkana Hagalaus Nauthis Esau Elhams Soilo Lagus Engual Dagaus Othala. The sacred space is about us. What passes now passes in perfect love and perfect trust, in the highest good of all and with harm to none. So next we're going to call in the quarters. We are going to call on the powers of the directions. And so I'm going to say a phrase and it'll end with shine upon us. When I do that, I'd like you all to respond with shine, and we're referring to the sun. We call to you, powers of the east, where the spring sun rises. We honor you. Shine upon us. Shine. We call to you, powers of the south, where the summer sun shines upon all. We honor you. Shine upon us. Shine. We call to you, powers of the west, where the autumn sun sets. We honor you. Shine upon us. Shine. We call to you, powers of the north, where the winter sun hides. We honor you. Shine upon us. Shine. Okay, gang, so at this point in the ritual, we're going to have some more participatory action. If you would like to stay seated, totally fine. This would also be a great time to stand up with your feet set wide apart, maybe raise up your arms. We're going to be invoking the sun, drawing down the sun into ourselves. So the first thing that we're going to do, so now that you've heard me do the Galder, we're going to do the Galder for Sowilo. So it's going to just be really drawn out. And just like when we chant the Om, we want to take a nice full breath in and use that hold breath for these sounds. So we have 3 syllables, so you might want to think about kind of doing a third of your breath per syllable. So join me now from your home, from your heart, as we chant Sowilo to get the attention of the sun. Woo. Okay, gang. I don't know if you're feeling it the way I'm feeling it, but I'm feeling it. Okay, next up, this is time for you to pull out that handout that has the words for this ritual. We're going to do the invoking chant. So that starts with draw down the sun. That's the one we're going to do next. So if you will, if you will, pun intended, we need to use our will now to visualize. Some of us are outside, more power to you, I'm inside. So we need to visualize the sun. We're going to start by visualizing a shield of golden rays all around you and above you and behind you and below you, so that you are simply enclosed in a shimmering sphere of golden sunlight. We're going to go through this invoking chant 3 times, and I know this is a little weird for me as a priestess because I can't hear you all. I know that we're on mute, which is great. I understand the technological need. So this guy requires a little bit more intention, I think, when we perform ritual in this way. So if you've all got your words, we shall begin. Now visualize that golden light as we do this chant 3 times. And I'm going to kind of give you the finger signal just in case you get lost. Here we go. Draw down the sun, draw down the light. Welcome the God, banish the night. Warming the heart, warming the soul, healing us all, making us whole. Draw down the sun, draw down the light. Welcome the God, banish the night. Warming the heart, warming the soul, healing us all, making us whole. Draw down the sun, draw down the light. Welcome the God, banish the night. Warming the heart, warming the soul, healing us all, making us whole. So continue with your intentions. Join me now. We're seeing that ray of golden light all around us. Feel the light beginning to enter you, to permeate your skin. You know this feeling when you lay out in the sun or when you're out exercising, when you're out frolicking. You can start to feel it physically in your skin. So feel that light enter you. Imagine raising, extending, and folding yourself with light as if you were splashing it all over yourself. Just a bath of sunlight, bringing it in, allow it in. And if you're going to bring your arms nice and wide, we're absorbing this light. Take a nice deep breath in. Inhale the golden light through your nose. Exhale the darkness through your mouth. Exhale what does not serve. Inhale the sun, the golden light of the sun. Exhale the no longer necessary. One more time. Inhale, drawing that sunlight into your lungs so that it can permeate your body even more deeply. Exhale that which no longer serves. As you continue breathing, visualize the light spreading to every part of your body, from your toes right to the tips of your fingers and the crown of your head. Drink it in. And now if you join me, place both of your hands just under your heart and above your stomach. This is your solar plexus, where the seat of your will resides, where this whirling energy wheel inside you lives, right here, connected to the sun every day, all the time. Place your hands there. And repeat after me. I am filled with the fire of the sun. I am filled with the fire of the sun. I am a warrior of the sun. So So the work we've just done of drawing the sunlight into us, of connecting with that place of the sun's power that lives within us. This is what we call a trigger. A trigger is a gesture married with intention. This is something we can come back to later in our lives. Any time that we need to feel the power of the sun, you can place your hands on your solar plexus. And you can make this even more powerful by taking a finger and tracing Sowilo on your solar plexus, or in the air if that's better for you. And then anytime you need to invoke the power of the sun, Sowilo it up. Touch your hands to your solar plexus. And know that the sun is always with us. Remember, it's always shining even when we can't see it. It's simply shining on other people. And speaking of other people, the meat of this ritual, sort of the apex of this ceremony, is the blessing and the prayer that we will all now take all of this sun power we've drawn into ourselves and our own power, and we will join it together. So here's another time. We need to visualize this circle of love we've created with all these beautiful people here, right now. See us all as a large circle shimmering with this golden sunlight. It's an aura around us, the corona of sainthood as it was in ancient paintings. And you know that was just the power of the sun. It's where it all comes from. Visualize all of our powers joining together for this prayer. This prayer crystallizes our intentions towards justice. Justice. The power of the sun strengthens our will to enact justice in the world. Join me now for this prayer of intention, this spell we have created together. The sun is high above us, shining down on all beings everywhere, our relatives in the sky, upon the earth, and dwelling in the sea. The sun shines upon all, making things grow and bloom. This is the longest day, the height of the power of the sun, the beginning of summer. Great and powerful sun, we honor you this day and thank you for your gifts. You who are known by so many names, Lu, Helios, Sol Invictus, Pan, Carnunas, Ra, Majek, Huitzilopochtli, Kinichahau, You are known by many names. And those who are with me now, think about the name you associate with the sun. Perhaps your deity embodies the sun. Perhaps there's another name you know. Throw that into this intention now. Call to the sun in the way you call to the sun. You who are known by so many names, you are the light over the crops, the heat that warms the earth, the hope that springs eternal, the bringer of life. We welcome you and we honor you this day, celebrating your light as we journey toward justice for all. May this fire of the sun fill us. May we overflow with courage. May we be strong in will. May we stand with our Black sisters and brothers. May we stand with all of the people of color. May we stand with all peoples oppressed by systems of oppression. May we stand together, all of our relatives everywhere. May we come together in love and compassion. May we change our reality together. O soul, shine upon our efforts and help this new reality to grow and take root. Shine your light upon us all and strengthen our will to victory. In the highest good of all, with harm to none. So may it be. Naho, Namaste, blessed be, and Om Shanti. Join me now. Let's just drink in everything we've just done. Take a nice few breaths. Bring it in. Allow it to settle in for a moment. This work we've created together, this power we've cultivated in ourselves by connecting with what is always there, our life-giving star, soul, which only ignites the flame we carry within. For we too are the power. Beautiful friends, it is time to close this circle. We will begin by releasing the quarters. And if you'd like to repeat after me with thank you or something of that nature, that would be cool. Powers of the North, we thank you for being with us and lending your power to this rite. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be. Powers of the West, we thank you for joining us in this rite, for adding your power to our working. Go if you must, stay if you will. Blessed be. Powers of the South, we thank you for being with us in this rite, for adding your power to our working. Go if you must, stay if you will. Blessed be. Powers of the East, we thank you. Thank you for joining our rite, for adding your powers to our working. Go if you must, stay if you will. Blessed be. To the powers above, the powers below, the powers within, without, and all around, we thank you. Thank you for joining us in this rite, for adding your power to ours. Go if you must, stay if you will, and blessed be. So as is the tradition among my people, we sing a song to take us out. A lot of you will know this song, possibly. This is based on Z Budapest's We All Come From the Goddess. This is an additional verse that the community's added among many. We're going to sing this, let's say 5 times for the 5 elements. So join me from your home. This is on your handout. We all come from the sun god, and to him we shall return, like a spark of flame rising to the heavens. We are come from the sun god, and to him we shall return, like a spark of flame rising to the heavens. We are come from the sun god, and to him we shall return, like a spark of flame rising to the heavens. We are come from the sun god, and to him we shall return, like a spark of flame flowing to the ocean. We are come from the sun god, and to him we shall return, like a spark of flame rising to the heavens. The circle is open but unbroken. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. It is done. Thank you all for joining your hearts and voices and intentions with mine. And happy Solstice 2020.
Thank you so much, Janara. You know, everything has been so magical, girl. I went up to Glastonbury and back on this one. It was just amazing. And I wanted to jump out in the front yard. I had to keep, thank God for this picture window because the sun is right there. I was like, oh, I so want to do this, like just drinking in the sun, drinking in the sun. I'm born on a Sunday at 1:15, so, you know, I'm a sun baby. That was just divine, beloved. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll certainly, you know, have each of the sisters give gratitude and maybe share a little bit of it. I'm not sure at the time. It's so, okay, 10:30. And so we are fixing to release Katrina, who's going to jump over to Web of Love because they start with their invocations and blessings on that Zoom call at about 11. So Katrina, you know, we got it. We got the controls from here. We'll be all right anytime you want to jump on out, darling. But if you want to, you know, if you want to say a few words before you do, that might be good to let you go first because I know you have to jump out. Yeah. And then you can just pass it off and we'll each pass that talking stick around. And then we'll all go over to the Web of Love and see you there. It's kind of exciting, this weaving. I get it too. I want to bring all my friends in the same Zoom call. Honest to God, I don't know if Zoom can hold 300, 400 people, but, you know, I just think we all should know one another. I do. All right, darling.
Thank you so much, Sangoma. I'll share the Zoom link both in the chat here and on the event page in Facebook for anyone that wants to jump over. I just want to offer so much gratitude, Janara. Thank you so much. It always fills my heart when these traditions of European descent are coming more into the forefront and we're sharing them and practicing them together. And, you know, it feels absolutely vital in the healing of humanity. And I just want to offer so much gratitude. I'm really glad to know you and connect with you. And I love that you do a Dragon Fest. I am also a dragon devotee, and so I'm going to check that out. That sounds just about right. And I know yesterday the dragon after Joy Mott shared that came out Sangoma. So you know those benevolent beings that are protectors of the earth. I feel them so strongly right now, and I want to call them into this circle as this gate is open, as the wise ones that were here before man and as the ones who have been holding the ancient wisdom of the earth. I bow to them and feel them so present right now. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you so much again, Sangoma, for this space, and absolutely grateful to meet some of your friends. Blessed be. Thank you. I'll pass over. I see Vasiliki next. And then I'm going to jump off and see you over on the Web of Love. I'm going to take a few minutes. So much love to all of you.
Nice to meet you, Katrina.
Thank you, Janara. I'll pass. I don't have anything to say. I'm enjoying this and I'm taking in. And it's feeding me well. Thank you.
Looks like
Okay.
Anita's next up.
I'm sorry, did you call my name?
Tell us, Anita, how do you feel?
Just uplifted. I'm also preparing for 2 more rituals today, so I feel like I'm in the spirit and I can give my all. So this was quite an uplift to my morning because I wasn't expecting it. So thank you for inviting me. I'm very grateful for being here.
Christy, I see you. Tell us, how do you feel?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Janara. I like this, the sun fiery energy is like I feel like the last on my circle of tools. So it was really lovely to step in this space and really sink in and dig in and have all these gifts of these doorways in. The magical piece for me is that I've been reading Resma Menikin's book, My Grandmother's Hands, and he has an exercise on where in your body, a lot of exercises about where trauma hits, where feelings hit, and bringing racial justice into embodied practices and release. And he asked, where does hope reside? And hope resides in my solar plexus. So it was really lovely to fire that up, like the action and the hope today. So thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Miss Judy, talk to us.
Hi, friend. Can you hear me? No, I don't see me. Okay.
You can hear you.
It's just so good to hear your voice and feel your energy and your love and your commitment and your joy and your passion and your dedication. Just, I don't know. I just feel renewed. Yeah, I was blessed by that. And when I get in the spirit like that, my own words come out. So, like, yeah, whatever language that is coming through me, it came out at the end of that, and it was just felt so good to connect with that, and just appreciate you so much. You're a light worker, girl.
Thank you, Miss Judy. I miss you. I love you.
I love you.
Miss Joan, talk to us.
Hi, all. I want to share just a couple of, I'm feeling, that was exactly what I needed, Janara. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Couple things. Sangoma had talked about the redbird earlier. As you just started, there were 2 redbirds flying by. And as I don't know if you could have seen it from the video, but as you were closing, it started to rain and rain down upon me until you were done, and it's now stopped. So my 83-year-old yoga teacher a long time ago would have said, oh, that was a little blessing. So thank you so much. A blessing on what we were doing here.
So welcome. Thanks for being here. I love you. I miss you. Who is next? Oh my gosh, Misha, talk to us. All right, we can't hear you yet.
Can you hear me now?
Ah, now we can hear you. Oh, I could see you too. Hey, Mama.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I knew this morning I overslept, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to jump in anyway, because I've been like so wanting to hear your voice, Janara. I've missed you so much, and I just can't tell you. I'm sitting in the perfect spot. I've got the light shining through the trees and the shade at the same time, and there's these little things from the trees raining down on me. Yeah, you just gave me everything I was supposed to get this morning to have enough for everyone else. And I feel beyond words. And I love you. It's just all things that are meant to be, right?
That's right. Thanks for being here. Love you, miss you. Who have we not heard from? Katrina's gone. Have we heard from Tracy?
Did I lose you guys?
Thank you, Janara. That was beautiful. It really was. And, you know, even though we have come together in this electronic space, know that we've been holding a fire here on Humble Hill for this. And, you know, we have a heavy amount of rose quartz and regular quartz embedded in the ground beneath our property here. And just know that it is vibrating some serious love for all y'all. Thank you again.
Thanks so much, Tracy. I really appreciate you holding the fire. I think that's very important to all these rituals. And thank you so much for facilitating and holding us together, bringing that fire in. Has everyone spoken now? I think so. No, Edie. Aha, I see you. Talk to us.
I just wanted to say thank you, and what a blessing this has been. Thank you, Sangoma. Thank you, Janara. Thank you, everyone. Good to see some faces I know and to meet some people I hadn't met before, and be in circle with you. Circle keeps getting bigger, and that's wonderful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. The circle, what do they say? The bigger the circle, the more the love grows. That's what's up. I really appreciate you all being with me here. This is not a really familiar thing for me. I've done some online events, but I've not done that much online ritual, so I really appreciate you holding this space with me here this morning. And I would like to invite you to get out into the sun today if you're able. Traditionally, after summer solstice ritual, that's what I would tell my people, is get out in the sun today if you can. Another wonderful, easy practice is charge up some water in the sun today and drink it. This time of solstice, and it's important to remember that while these holidays do fixate on a single point in time, they were traditionally celebrated over days, you know, like a whole week. So we're still in the solstice, even though the moment has passed. So charge that water up if you can, drink it. Just carry that power with you. Also a great time to charge up some crystals today, if you're into that, which I personally am. But thank you so much, Auntie. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to facilitate today. It was such a joy and a real healing for me. I have struggled a lot with current events and haven't wanted to be on all the calls. So it was a really beautiful feeling for me that I finally wanted to. And I volunteered, and Sangoma thought it was a good fit. So I'm really, really thankful too. Thank you.
I'm really, really thankful that you are here, Janara, and I want to bring back just that, how much in that vision from Joy, and that when, you know, my dragon, and I was like, yeah, somewhere during the week I was doing Mother of Dragons, Breaker of Chains, and yeah, and you know what I mean? And then I listened to Reverend Al Sharpton for just a minute this morning. I got a little whiff of his speech at the Juneteenth in Tulsa. And what I know is we're working, honey. I went to sleep with that, and you know, I did, of course, wouldn't listen to the crazy man in the side the place. My lighthouse was shining ever bright, that everybody would be able to hold themselves. And they wanted to do it for 1,000 reasons. They wanted to keep the protesters separated from that crowd and so forth because of COVID. And so I submit that everything that Katrina told us in terms of Stonehenge to here to every circle that's holding the light and holding the prayers and holding the sacred, we didn't have a crazy in Tulsa because we could have woke up this. That's a fact. All them ghosts up in that town. We could have woke up and been under martial law, but we're not, because the lighthouses and the peacekeepers and the bridge builders, we are working and we are holding that line, and I just love it. I feel renewed by it. I feel like all of that. So we low, I got that, boo. All of that just is gonna hold the vibration of the sun. You know what I mean? And I say it a lot, you know, to people. Love pushes back the darkness. The light will hold back the darkness. And I really just feel that charged all through my being. And, you know, like you, I'm not such a lover of the machines that I would say, oh, we'll do more of these. We need to be doing these regular. But we don't know what's coming. I would submit that I do want to chat. I said that last night on the people that were on the call. It was only a few people on the call late last night when the Steve Judd information came forward. And I said, I think we were there with Sarah Dash, who had given us some fantastic information on soul retrieval and how we retrieve the parts of our ancestral selves that are weaving this healing in this time. And I did say to her, I said, I value everyone's voice and opinion to know how we should conduct ourselves between here and mid-July, as above, so below. So I thank you again. I thank you for being an ascension guide. I want to call that out and witness you in that, because we started off this summit with all of the roles of the light workers. And I think the more that we acknowledge each other's roles in our light work, the more confident we each become. And I think of you often, Janara, and I never want you to be alone or isolated out there in Colorado. I want you to reach in here and say, well, Auntie, you want to do something? Or you want to come in a Zoom call and just talk to me? And you know I will. You know I will, and that goes for any other sister on the line. Vasiliki, what you got, girl?
What you got, girl? So Janara ignited my solar plexus as a sun worshiper up on 2,000 feet on a mountain away from the beach. But I'm getting the sun here. The solar sun worshiper, the solar, it's the season of the solar. So I remember some very, you don't encounter often, this very practical move in the body to release the breath, where you put your hands on the lower ribs and you just uplift it gently, tiny bit. You just pull it and the breathing changes and the breathing drops. It releases. If it's caught up, the breathing, just a slight lifting on the ribs. So I did that as she was talking, and I connected, boom, with my solar depth of my solar plexus. So that got ignited. So I was sitting with that for a while, and I couldn't talk before, but I can put it into words now. So it brought up some old exercises I knew to release, to open the solar plexus and to release the breathing. And I immediately connected with that part of the body here, the middle, with a bigger space. So I just wanted to share that, and thank you for the ignition. Thank you.
That's what's up, right? Like, that's what I love so much about this spiritual practice is that we have the power, each of us, but what we can do for each other is ignite it. What we can do for each other is amplify it. And that was my intention, certainly as offering to lead today. My whole goal right now is to amplify voices of the oppressed and to do my part into dismantling systems of oppression. And the best way to do that is to empower each of you, all of us, to empower myself. That's the work, right? We have to have that power, that will to be able to exist in this time in a way that we can be proud of at the end of our lives. That's what I've started to think about now, is whenever I feel tired or discouraged or too angry, I consider, when I'm 85, what am I going to think about how I conducted myself during this time? Did I do all that I could to support the rest of my family? To support myself too, as someone who's also, experienced systemic discrimination and such. I know, Kiki, you have experienced that too. A lot of us have. And it just has to stop, and it's time. And I'm so grateful that Sangoma has always supported me and allowed me to be a part of the sort of spiritual leadership at the Earth Skills Gathering. I miss you all so much. And this year, actually, I was planning to go to Winter Count out in Arizona, but I had some other life issues came up and I couldn't go. But on the good side, I just want to let everybody on this call know that I've been talking to Christina Gordon, the leader of our wonderful Women's Wilderness Workshop. That's the Women's Earth Skills Rendezvous that we've had for 5 years now in Western North Carolina. And I just reached out to her and said, hey, have you thought about this year going online? So many of us are. If you are willing, I want to be in. Sangoma, are you in? I know you are.
Yeah, I just talked to Christina yesterday morning, as a matter of fact, same conversation. So see how we're all right there. And we were talking about, and I said to her, I said, well, I'm not opposed, because she was talking about, well, how can we, do it? Because she doesn't feel as confident in Zoom yet. And I said, well, and she was speaking about me and Nancy maybe being on the property and then trying to, help her navigate the Zoom aspect of it, the virtual aspect of it. So we'll see where we are, come the bottom of July and then into August. And as I say, Steve Judd's words were, the wise ones will proceed cautiously, given this information of what exactly we're getting into now. That's his point, from here until, I guess, as we enter into the age of Aquarius at the December solstice. We got to navigate certain things, and not that puts any of us off, but it makes us aware, as we would say. It makes us aware. So yep, and ditto. It's not that much I can add to everything that we have covered this morning, other than I think we should all give a little space right here to allow the sun to shine on our face. I know I am. I'm going to go out. That's my morning ritual. If I didn't have to jump on here so early, to go out and water and talk to my garden out here in the front, and do that, as it were, go barefoot and just ground. I invite you all to come on over if you can. I know everybody doesn't want to hang out all day on the machine. A red bird came to my front door. Can you believe it? Joan, awesome. That was amazing. And it was a pretty big one, like a red robin or something, just swooped in here, right? I'm looking out the picture window. But yeah, come on over to the Web of Love. Absolutely amazing it is. I look so forward to that space in there at 12 noon where there are no words, and it's just Benny on his many different hand pans that just blows me out of the water every week. I cannot wait to get his CD. He's over there in Brussels, and they're doing a water blessing as they come in at 11, and prayers and prayers and prayers, and Imani White, Mojo Mama up there with a peace chamber. And again, I just think all of us should know each other, and all of us should know who else is praying or casting spells or doing magical works, because we'll look around us and the world as the tower card hits the floor, so to speak, we would not be moved or shook or at all, because we have met and spent time with all of the prayer warriors, the warriors of the sun. And that helps me so much to know, never do I think I'm the only one praying, but to really, really have laid eyes on your faces and to know Judy's praying, Janara's praying, all these women are praying, and we're going to hold this line until we get to the other side. We're going to hold this line. So, yeah, I guess if anybody has anything they would like to close out, and I did, that's what I zoomed through here on this little phone thing. I saw Jerry Littlejohn. I saw her name. I don't know if her face is in there, but just like I went out on your voice, Janara, right way up into my dragon, as you were calling them runes. That's kind of how I do on Jerry Littlejohn when she plays the flute. And if she doesn't do it here again, she'll land in the Web of Love at some point. But check her out, because when her breath hits that flute, it's pretty daggone magical. It sure is. All right, ladies, I love you. Get some sunshine on your face. And we'll see you for strengthening the lighthouses at 1 but I'm getting ready to jump over there in about 10 minutes. But at 1 o'clock, we'll come and bring a message for strengthening our lighthouses. And then we got a pretty potent, you want to have a notebook and pen at between 6 and 8. We're not going to speak too much because too many big brothers listening. But if, again, a wise one would show up at 6 to 8 this evening with a pen and paper. Yeah, with a pen and paper, because don't you love those people that really do know the alpha rhythms and what's really going on under the bottom. Yes, our brother upstate New York, he's done the research. And so we just love that he's going to come and give that to the elders, because we don't want any of our elders startled as these various legislations and moves happen in the coming months. All right, love y'all. Get some sunshine on your face.
Love you. Thank you, Sangoma.
For those wanting to join Web of Love, the link is in the comments, and it should be by now in the event page for the Lighthouse Summit.
Thank you, Tracy. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I will see you in the Web of Love.